look bad, and it looks like you're not going to make it, then you got to get mean. I mean plumb mad dog mean. Because if you lose your head and you give up, then you neither live nor win. That's just...
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else. No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else. No.
Well, good evening to Bill. Good afternoon, Bill. If you can hear me loud and clear. Welcome to VP4 TV. Welcome to Cobra. We are here for the first of the remaining 4 matches to be played in this year's 2022 World 10 Ball Championships. Only 4 matches left. Now remember, this tournament started on the 31st of August. So by the time we're done here, we could be pushing 2 months for this whole event. We know the hot seat match after the match last night. Very solid performance by Albinario, who has gone through to meet Stubb in that hot seat match. This match tonight is a USA-England battle between Fast Eddie and Barkers155. Fast Eddie defending the honour of American pool and trying to fend off the newcomer to this pool game, Barkers, who seems to be mostly a snooker player, and in his last match struggled early on, missed a few shots, and ended up chasing Stubb. Stubb was crazy enough to let him back into it, but Stubb's performance overall was more than good enough to win. Eddie, of course, is on a bit of a roll, and will probably go into this match now favourite tonight. Barkers has just arrived in the lobby. Now, having a look down, Fast Eddie's in a room getting some practice, so Barkers has just gone in as well. So we're off to a good start. We've got the 2 players here. Welcome to Albinario. And well, that's a fair call, although I think it might be. It depends. I mean, we've seen it in a few matches from Barkers where he sort of starts to react once he's got problems. He doesn't seem to sort of get off and running right from the start. And of course that's going to cost even more when it's a race to 13 and not a race to 17. So Barkers I think for his sake needs a good start. Eddie, of course, has now got to live up to his last couple of performances. He's got to keep that standard, and if not, improve on it, because he's got to think ahead. He's got to look at what lies ahead of him, and we know what that will be. It'll be a straight choice. If we look at the top of the win-loss side, we've got Bill and Spectre Dawn already having arranged their match, and that is for next Tuesday night at 8 PM. And of course, the winner of that match will then play the winner of this match. And of course, then, once those two battle out, they're going to have to see who comes across from that hot seat match. So that's where we are. 4 matches left, and everything's going to be good quality. I feel sure about that. We've got the remaining 4 best players in the tournament. Some might disagree, but they're sitting in the bleachers watching what's happening. So we are about 5 minutes away. Well, if you were here last night, you should know Steve wasn't around for a few days. He's got visitors, and he was around last night, but he won't be here today. He's obviously got other plans on, so we'll go it alone. I'm sure we can survive. So welcome to, who was that came in? Who did I miss in the chat? Oh, Lard. Good evening. So predictions are, I'll be saying 13-10 to Fast Eddie. Cobra's saying a final rack decider to Barkers. Well, as I say, I think, good afternoon to Dwight. I think Barkers needs to get a better start than he's had in his last couple of matches. I think that's the first priority he needs to focus on, is getting a good start and not making those early errors, because then the opponent gets into that comfort zone where they feel that there's not a great deal of threat coming from the other side. But we know that Barkers will warm up, and then he finds his touch, and then he becomes very dangerous if you make any error. So it's going to be fascinating to see how it turns out, and it should be good quality. And like I said, when Fast Eddie won his last match, he should have no fear, no doubts about his ability. He's proved that. He's come through, and he deserves to be where he's got. And Barkers has done well, considering this isn't his home table. I don't believe he gets an awful lot of table time on the 9-footer. But good quality players tend to adapt and survive regardless. But whose time is running out in this event? Because somebody's going to have to go tonight. Bill calls it 13-11 to Fast Eddie. Now, I would say I would go 13-10 to Fast Eddie. I'm going to say that right now and stick with it. Now, I'm testing my buttons here just to make sure things are working. That one's working. Now let's see if it stops working. Many matches? What, 5 matches? What, 5 matches left? I thought I counted it as 4. You've got the hot seat match, that's 1, 2, 3, Oh no, you're, is it 5? Anyway, whatever it is, it's not a lot of matches left. Welcome to Potman. Right, that button isn't working quick enough, hang on. That's better. Right, so we are about 30 seconds away. Well, we're in the room. We're first in, ready to go. Again, a reminder, the player at the top of the HUD on the left will be the player at the bottom of the screen on the right when they lag off. And if both of them are still in rooms, they'll get the alarm letting them know that this room is up. And of course, what we're all waiting on to study is how soon is Eddie going to resort to the jump technique. Well, Barkers is in. And both players are in. Fast Eddie on the bottom right. Barkers on the bottom left. Race to 13, alternate break. All banks and combos, non-obvious shots should be called. This could be close. But Barkers has won it. Dry straight away. Welcome to Brain Pill Out. Oh, dry, and look at this table. He's slightly the wrong angle on the one. It shouldn't be a major problem. And he needs to get out into the table for this 3 ball because he wants to just drop the 4 into the right side pocket, I would think. He might have to try and go 2 rails. He needs to avoid the 10. Well, he's trying to hold it off. And this is a bit more angle than he would really have liked. Now, we can see the 5 doesn't go past the 10. And this is a little bit of a touchy angle. And got to remember what he's trying to do with the cue ball here. And this has got him in a bit of a doubt as to what the best course of action is. Now, if he tries to bump this in and come 3 rails, he has to obviously miss the 6 ball. He doesn't look as if he's doing that. Oh, yeah, he is doing it. And that's the issue. If he doesn't miss the 6, he's blocked by the 10, so it's going to have to be a long 5-10 combo. If he missed the 6, he would have the 5 into the opposite side pocket. And he's still got one extension left. Yeah, and that's a gift. Well, I say a gift. It's a little gentle billiard he wants to play here. Yeah, and that was always that problem with going 3 rails. The path that the 6 ball was in was a stumbling block, and Eddie had his chance to get off the mark there, and in the end it was a gift for Barkers. So he's got what he wants, not a run out, but he's got the first rack in the board, which is all that matters. And Eddie's break looks as if it's heading the same direction. It's dry, and Barkers also has a shot in the 1. And such is the angle in this 1 ball that he's going to be reasonably good in the 2, apart from the fact he's more than likely going to be the wrong side of the 2. But he won't have to do, he doesn't have to worry about it so much because of where the 3 and the 4 is. Let's have a look. No, that's fine, but I think he really just wants to jack up here and kill this rather than risking going forward, I think. I mean, if he does go forward, the chances are he might bump something and still come out and have a shot in the 3 anyway, so he just played it gentle. Five goes past the 7, and so the one that will win the rack more than likely will be from the 5 to the 6. And the 5 to the 6, there is 2 choices. I mean, you can go left side or right side, but the right side's the more dangerous one where the 8 ball's sitting. And the 6 ball will go past the 9, I'm pretty certain. Yeah. So this is the shot that will make or break the rack. And he's going to have to put some force into this. And the problem with putting the force into it is he gets too much top on it and he's fairly straight. He might not get there. Yeah. That's probably about as good as he could expect, and plus it was safe from the fact of getting blocked by anything. But this was the safer side to go, but it's a testy cut. But he's always going to be in the 7. And now it should all be easy. Now, let's have a quick look. Again, he's dead straight. And then he might draw back to the rail and out. And the further he goes to the rail, the easier it is, just a drop in. And this is not the start that Eddie wanted, but it's the ideal one for Barkers. And that's a bit straight as well, I think. Yeah, he's just going to have to dink through, play the 10 into the side. I don't think he wants to get too ambitious. I mean, just a roll through and he's fine. And also, Barkers is going to be breaking next rack. So this could really apply a bit of pressure to Eddie if Barkers can get. Well, what's happened in the first two racks is both players have broke dry, both players have left the one ball on. And this time Barkers has got a ball, and I think it's the one. And he can't get to the two though. And this table is going to be decided on that two ball. Well, he's playing the push out. And guess what? That's probably one of the worst push outs that you're going to see, because he's straight back in, of course. Well, he's got to find a path between the 8 and the 9. And if he goes to the left of the 10, he can get there. But it's a narrow window in that gap. And he hasn't picked it. So, again, how often do I say this in this tournament? We're at the stage now with opportunities like this, a wide open table, you've got to do it. And if you don't do it with this sort of table, it's a fail. And he might be a bit straight in this again. This is horrible. So the worst thing that will happen here is either scratching in that corner pocket where the 6 is, or hooking himself behind the 10. It depends whether he puts any bottom right English on it. And that's not got the legs. He needed a bit more juice on that. And straight away, it's the bedhead cut to survive and stay at the table. Watch the cue ball. Watch the cue ball. Oh dear. That's the problem. When it's happened to run loose like that. And the 8 ball comfortably goes into the side pocket or up table. I mean, he can choose whatever he wants to do here. But Eddie is staring at 3-0. And of course, being in this mini crisis early on, he's still got plenty of time to find his way back into this. But how helpful is Barkers going to be in that process? Well, Eddie's going to get his chance to redeem himself, but it has to be that the break works for him. So 3-0 to Barkers. Fast Eddie on his break, needing a result here. And this ain't a result. It's another dry one from Eddie. So his first 2 breaks have both been dry. And again, Barkers has a shot in the one. I think he might play this. I don't know whether it goes in clean and the angle allows you to steer clear of that 6. Well, it's going to, because he's playing it soft. He's not letting it run. And now he's got a bit of an angle in the 2 for that 3 into the side. I mean, I don't believe he's wanting to play it past the 4. Oh dear. What the hell happened here? Oh, he hit the replay again. He hasn't remapped his replay button. That's what it is. Well, the 3 ball is going past the 4 and it's tight here. Welcome to semi-pro. It's going to be the 5-7. Fairly simple combo. Welcome to Travelling TT. So Eddie's break isn't working for him. So he has to change up. Well, this is the little tricky one. It's controlling this cue ball, and the touch is pretty good. I mean, he can just brush off the 9 ball. He might, if he gets this wrong, he can push it on to the 8. Oh dear, the cue ball's leaked away though. Well, Eddie's chance has come. The mistake has been made. And he's got 3 balls to pot here. Welcome to Vertical Liquid. So he's coming out for the 9 into the same pocket. Little stun. Does he want to leave this 10 ball just straight? I would think so. Just kill the cue ball. Dead soft anyway. So just a straight pot in the 10 to get a bonus rack here to get on the board here for Fast Eddie. I'm sure he wasn't expecting this. Once again though, it's back to Barkers for his break. And this is also dry. But Eddie's not got an inviting shot here. I mean, he's I think the other problem is looking for the safety here. I mean, he can thin cut the 1 and find the gap between the 2 and 6. And if he gets a reasonable line, it's a bit dangerous this if he's doing that. From the point of view that the 1 ball is exposed, there's nothing down this end of the table here. He has to get cover up the table with this cue ball. That's where he's heading. Well, it looked as if that's where he was heading. Now it's looking slightly different. And he's taking his time. I don't know what he's trying here now. Well, that's a pretty good idea. That's not bad. Now this to the right of the 6 ball needs a bit of left spin, I think, to catch that 1 ball. I mean, it's quite a big target, the 1 ball. As he putting anything on it, he looks as if he got a wee feather of of left on this. Now, he's not got cover, but look at this set of balls here. I mean, they're asking to be hidden behind. And if Eddie's to try and do that, he's got to, I think, jack up. I think he's got to jack up if he's going to try that. He hasn't called the bank. He's got the cover though. That will do. Now let's have a quick look up table once we see this shot being played to see how these balls lie, because obviously the 7 goes past the 9 into that top right, and that's going to scratch. And if we look down on the 4 goes as well. So nothing needs to be disturbed down here. It's just getting onto that 4 ball. And when you look where the 3 is, it's meaning that, you know, the cue ball's got to travel a bit to get on that 4. Now what's Eddie doing here? He's trying to send the 1 ball. Well, I thought he was thinking about sending the 1 ball in behind those 4 balls for a minute. I think he's just studying the table. So the one that will give him the best shot of winning this rack is the next shot coming after this 2. How good can he get on the 4? Ideally, he wants to be somewhere like there, so he's not going into that 5 ball. But that's a tall order. And let's have a look. Well, I think he can get into this and stun it. He needs to hit it hard. Is he going forward? Forward with left. Looks like it at the moment. I think he can pinch enough of that 3 ball to get a big stun up the table onto this 4. But he looks as if he's going 1, 2, 3 rails. Well, that ain't going to get there, Eddie. That was awful. And why he didn't see this? I mean, there was a slight angle there, and you could cheat the pocket slightly by sending it into the left of the pocket to give you more of an angle to get the big stun up the table here. That's a shot I would have went for. And if you decide you're going to go 3 rails, you can't just pity pat it and end up there. That was really poor. That was a really bad shot by Eddie. And vertical liquid here. Putting the cue ball where Eddie wanted to have the cue ball. Little draw back. Now, he might want to think here before he moves as to how he's going to play this 6 and where he's going to be able to put the cue ball to play the 6, because where he's going now, I mean, if he comes back, he could cut it. Well, this is a controlled shot, but he's stuck to the rail, and you want to just stun this in and come across. And that's well done. And he's got a nice angle on the 7. Well, this is going to be a bit of increased pain here for Eddie, because that was he played the big part in self-inflicted damage here with that shot that he attempted to get on the 6 ball. It was really poor. Depending on how his mouse settings are would depend whether he would maybe play that shot with the amp on. But I don't, to be honest, I don't think a lot of players use amp. They just, if they've got multiple DPIs, where's the cue ball going? If they've got multiple DPIs, they can just hit a button and amp up the DPI setting. But this is what looks to be a solid run out here from Barkers. And Eddie very quickly has to get his head screwed on, because this is now getting a bigger crisis. Well, change your break would be my advice. Do something. Go wider or whatever. Try and get a bit of luck. And it ain't happening. Eddie's not had a ball in the break, I don't think, so far, and all his breaks have all been dry. And that does not bode well for his survival. Hang on a minute. Well, if the cue ball ends up back where it is right now, he'll have a half decent shot in the 3. Well, he's taken his eye off the pot by getting there. He pretty much got to where was expected. I don't know whether he's. I think he might have left this on. I think there's just enough to twist this cue ball a wee bit and squeeze that in. But he's got to hit this with a bit of force to try and get the cue ball out of there, though. It's no good leaving the cue ball up that end of the table where the 3 ball's sitting. Well, Eddie didn't fancy just trying to squeeze that cue ball a bit. Well, this would be a shot Eddie would more than likely resort to his jump cue style. Good evening to Hazard. And again, this is going to be the opportunity for Eddie to try the jump, because he can't get the 2 ball. So, first opportunity of the night for him to see if he can execute it. Jacking way up. Well, he's got the hit, and this is going to be an opportunity for Barkers. I think he needs to try and cut this in a bit to give him the line. Yeah, it's not quite got the legs. Oh, that's a good shot. Now, is Eddie going to call the 8? I think he is. Well, he called the 8 and then he thought better of it. Let's have a quick look round. And he'll be happy with that. He's got the cover. Eddie desperately hoping he gets some sort of opportunity here. And he won't. Barker's using the cover of the 6 and 7 blocking that top corner pocket. Now, is there a shot on here to cut that 3 that way, send the cue ball that way, and go in there? Oh dear. Well, I think my idea was better than that. Because that's what happens when you leave balls very adjacent. You're going to get really knotted up there. And Barkers has got control of the table here. He's got Eddie in all sorts of trouble. And Eddie's got to think here. The way these balls are sitting, he's trying to push. He's trying. In the end, he had to rush it because he's run out of time. And of course, he's not got to a rail. Well, Eddie's looking for something to steady the ship here, but he can't get anything in the break. But that isn't the main reason as to why he's in this situation. And this table, again, has got to be run out. And, well, everything's going fairly sweetly here for Barkers. But he has to get the angle on this 8 ball, and he'd probably be better just killing the cue ball where the 7 is. Yep, making sure he's got a decent enough angle to be able to manoeuvre this cue ball, because it's got a lot of yardage to make here. And he has to get past the 10. He has to get past it, and Eddie lives again. But Eddie can't rely on instances like this. I mean, these are going to be part and parcel of Eddie getting back into it. So Eddie's expecting to have a shot here. The chances are he will. But the bad news is, it goes back to Barker's break the next rack anyway. Oh, this has gone too square. This is one of these horrible 10 balls, and it's a horrible 9 ball as well. You don't want to ever leave it like this when you're 4-1 down. Watch the shot clock, Eddie. Watch the shot clock. And he's got it done. So now, the handy thing would be something like a dry break here. And Eddie making the most of it. But Barkers again has got a ball in the break. Oh, he's just brushed the 1. Had he missed that one ball, he would have been staring the one up the table there into that corner pocket. I mean, the one still cuts up there, and the chance is that the cue ball will come over and they'll have some sort of sight in the 2 ball. So I think he's got to go for this. I don't think he can refuse this. In fact, there isn't many players left in this tournament that would refuse this, so he's got to go for it. He'll be unlucky if he hooks himself behind the 7 or something like that. But then again, he might be lucky. Oh, he hasn't. It's just come out enough, but look at where the 1 ball is. It's in the pocket. Big VP4 draw here, just to get out into the table. I don't know whether he wants to try and use that rail and the 1 ball. That might not be good. He could end up hitting the 10 and have nothing on. Yeah, now he has to make sure he doesn't hook himself behind the 7. Well, you know it's not going to be your night when this happens. So now he's going to have to play a long jump. He's going to have to do the Bob Beeman. Or I should say Mike Powell, seeing as he's the new world record holder. And he wasn't trying to jump and hit that direct. But has he left enough of this 2 ball to be cut in? I think it is very borderline that he can get there. I think he's bumping that 2 ball into the rail. Yeah, he doesn't. I think he agrees with me. It doesn't look as if he can get it. And Eddie's got lucky there. Well, this time the table's at Eddie's mercy. Barker's trying to lock the cue ball behind the 3. Didn't get it. And this is there's a bit of an angle. You just got to watch the pace he plays this at. I think he's drawn back, but there's a slight angle there, and that's, again, not a great shot. I mean, I think he could have used the angle that was there and braved the stun shot into that corner pocket. He had to brave the stun shot to get the cue ball out, and he wasn't up to it. And he's having to play combos, doesn't know where the 3's finishing. And it ain't falling into place here for Eddie, and there's a couple of reasons. He's played the wrong shot in this visit. You don't want to be drawn into the next ball you're trying to be playing. That's one cardinal sin you don't want to be doing, because you're then hoping to get really lucky. And he didn't want to brush the 5 either. Let's see what he's left. Well, again, he's got away with it. But he's walking a very thin tightrope here, past Eddie. But he's still only 2 behind. And if things start to fall into place for him, then the panic would be over. But he's going to have to get his shot choices sorted out here, Eddie. Well, that's going to bounce. Is it going to bounce behind the 9? You're damn right it is. And the pressure's still on Eddie to get a roll of the ball here. He's called this 3 into the bottom left, but he's really hoping and praying that he can get away with it. But it's a tall order this time, because there's wide open country. Well, he's hit that thin. And once again, Eddie comes to the table. Slightly dodgy. Well, I say a dodgy angle. I mean, because he's got to think about the cue ball again. He's got to get through with the cue ball. He doesn't want to be leaving himself over there. And he doesn't want to go inside the 4 if he can help it either. But he has done. Now, again, the danger is running forward here because there's traffic in the way and he has to avoid it. And he's got there. Oh shit, you're right. It's Barkers in play. When did that change? I'm falling asleep here already. This is another little testy one, but the cue ball's heading in the right direction. Welcome to Bedhead. This is all about pace because the cue ball does what it does. And he's again left us a wee bit awkward. Well, that's perfect. So Barkers with a 5-2 lead, and now Eddie again with the break. He's got to again change up, go further to the left or further to the right, or play it in the middle. Do something. Now, hang on a minute. There's a little interlude here. Eddie is well. You've seen what Eddie's saying because it's in the chat. Right. What does Hairpig say? I'm heading into hour 3 of a remote work meeting. I haven't slept this well in weeks. Well, it might not be a bad thing for Eddie to actually do this. Take a little time out and get his head screwed on, because right now his head's somewhere up his arse with a couple of shots he's played. He's not executed shots very well. Wrong shot choices from what I'm seeing, and not getting a single ball in the break. Well, as long as you're not there taking the minutes here, Pig, you've nothing to worry about. If somebody then turns round to you and says, what do you think of that? What was it so-and-so said? And you've not been taking notice. They'll then know you're falling asleep. So Eddie's breaks have been awful. He's not had a ball. And I think, again, my memory's not that great, but I think Barkers has always been able to see the one ball. Well, so this, whoever coined the phrase, a week is a long time in politics, there should be a new one after the days, in the last few days, debacle in the British government. It should be 3 weeks is a long time as Prime Minister. Because you know, when somebody says, whenever a minister in the government, not necessarily just the government, even in the opposition benches, whenever they say, I'm here to do a job and I'm staying, you know that within 24 hours they'll be out on the backside. And that's basically what Liz Truss, the aforementioned Prime Minister, said yesterday. And now she's out the door. She lasted 43 days and now holds 2 records for a British Prime Minister. The first one is she is the shortest term Prime Minister in British political history, and she's also made the shortest resignation speech outside Downing Street today. which lasted 89 seconds, and then she got on her bike and left. And Boris Johnson's name's been mentioned. Bring back Boris, I say. He's good for a laugh, if anything. So Eddie's interlude should almost be over once he's got his coffee. And in terms of wanting to see a match here, here's hoping it works for him. Right, so Eddie is back. Barkers might have gone to get a drink as well, for all that matter. I think he might. Oh, yeah, Barkers is here, so let's see if Eddie's going to change up. Well, the only difference is he's gone left side instead of right. He hasn't changed the angle of the brake very much. Well, this time he's got the 3 ball in, and he's calling the 5 because it's hanging over the hole. But I think he's got to be fairly gentle with this, because even if he hits a 4, it's bound to knock the 5 in. Well, he's not found a line. And Barkers is staring down this 1 ball. And this is not looking good. It was not a difficult bank. That's even me talking about it. I mean, he had a big target there. He could have brushed the 4, still hit the 5, and it would have gone in. And Barkers, once again, will be looking to administer the full punishment. He has to be really careful that he stays really close here. And the reason I'm saying that is, on that left-hand side he wants to stay close because of where the 6 ball is. He doesn't want to be leaking the cue ball away anywhere. Well, that's ideal. The 2 balls have gone in and he's sitting plumb on the 6 ball. That couldn't have worked out any better. That's exactly what he wanted. He wanted to be sitting like this on the 6 ball. Good angle to get out into the table. Now, this is again needing a little delicate touch on how I think my dinner's coming back up me, by the way. Plus the fact that drink of water that's sort of giving me the hiccups again. Yeah, it's a little delicate touch, this. Well, now he has a choice. Dropping it into the left side, the cue ball's heading in the right direction, not a problem. Just got to trust his eyes and the line on the cut. Well, he's digging in a wee bit here. He doesn't really need to. But that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. You can stun this in, just dink across. You don't want to run into the tent, so you just want to stun across slightly. And now the crisis is getting bigger for Fast Eddie, because once again this is on his break. Oh, that sounds delicious. I would eat that in a heartbeat, so I would. I love garlic, I love chilli, and I love mushrooms. I mean, that's like heaven and earth, that. Well, it's 6-2 to Barkers, and it's his match to lose now. And Fast Eddie right on the rack here. Barker's break is dry. Eddie's got a shot in the 1. He gets the 1. He's got to be on the 2. The 3 ball goes past the 8 in the bottom right hand corner here. Pretty certain that does. It shouldn't be a problem. But he's overcut the 1. And now he has to hope he gets cover behind the 9. Which he has. In fact, had he potted that 1 there, his heart would have been in his mouth that he was going to end up behind the 9 anyway, trying to go on the 2. Well, I mean, right now Eddie simply has to win this rack. However he does it, it doesn't matter, but he has to win this rack. He can't go 5 behind. That's going to scratch. So he's been given another go at it. And again, I'm going to repeat myself. They're all there. And if you're in this tournament as a contender at this late in the tournament, you must deliver. You don't have a choice on it. You just have to get your way out. And this cue ball to want to leak away here with the angle he's got in the 2. And he might come back to leave this at distance again. And that's the other problem. The other problem then is he's trying to dink through. That'll do. He's got the pace almost right. And the 4 ball comfortably goes past the 6. So he can go across. If he bumps the 9, it shouldn't do any harm. But he's got to go up and down the table here twice. So when he pots this 4, and this needs a big stun as well. You can't go forward with this. Yeah, it needs a big stun. And he needs the angle in the 5. Now again, I mean, he's going to, I think he's avoiding the 10, so it's all about the pace, and it needs to have legs. And again, that's fine, because he's got the angle. Now he has to be careful. He has to leave this short. He has to leave it short. And that'll do. Didn't want to trifle with the 10 ball. Once again, though, let's have a look at what he's got. This is, it looks as if he's coming back the way. Yeah, had to be avoiding the scratch on the side. And again, he just cannot get decent shape. He's dead straight. I mean, you don't want to try and pinch any of this. This is again about the faith in the draw shot here. And he's drawn on top of the 10 at that line. So it's the bedhead cut, and again he's got to watch the cue ball. This needs just a tiny feather of right, the way I'd play it. You know, just to bring it in this line, not a huge amount to go and scratch. You've got to get the pace. If you play it with left or right or playing ball, you just got to be sure that you know the line it's going. That'll do it. Yeah, he's got it thin. I always play them with a wee bit of English one way or the other. I think it's just a force of habit. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Eddie won't be bothered. But now can he get something to happen here in this break? Is he going to change up? Is he playing from where the cue balls appeared? Is he deciding that's maybe a better idea? Or is he going to still break narrow? Is he going to go wider? Well, that's no change. Oh dear. It's one of them. It is one of those nights. The scratch and the break. The table's not great, mind you, but it's going from bad to worse for Eddie. It's a sequence of dry breaks and then the ultimate embarrassment. It's dry with a scratch. Little bump in the 9. Let's see what that looks like from his point of view. Well, this is, again, a touchy shot. And again, he's taken it into the side. And he's held the cue ball, giving himself the cut in the 3. That was well done. Nice angle again in the 4. You know, of course, the lifesaver possibility here for Eddie is that 6 ball. Well, he could be going for the bump. He could be going across the table twice here to try and leave some sort of combo on the 9. I don't believe he'd be leaving for any sort of combo. Well, he's went for the bump and it's gone wrong. Well, at least Eddie's going to probably have another visit to the table here. Oh, he's called down to the side. I don't believe he can get enough of that for the side pocket. Well, he had a good go at it, I'll tell you. He had a good attempt at it, and that cue ball stuck to the rail. And this is the frustrating part about it as well. You can't get a comfortable shot. You know, if that cue ball was there, it was a far more comfortable shot than what this is. But he's controlled that. That is very well done. Now, he must pay attention to that 10 and 9. Because this 9 ball is awkward to get to. That's got to be played on his mind straight away here. Oh, this needs a touchy shot here to just get this and stop the cue ball leaking away too far, and it's leaked away. The 9 still cuts. The cue ball's running. Oh, he's hit it far too thin. And it's another gift. And another chance gone for Eddie. The gift being to Barkers for a 7-3 lead. And Eddie can't get the job done with these chances. And that's the paramount thing. It's probably the most important thing in this tournament at this stage. Whenever you have a table with the balls there, you've got to get there. And it's the biggest cardinal sin that's going to be committed by any of these remaining players. And Eddie's fallen short tonight. So, it's 7-3. Barker's break. It's another dry one from him. And again, it's just awkward for Eddie. I mean, the angle is too much on this one into the side to comfortably control this cue ball. I mean, if he cuts this into the side pocket and the cue ball, I don't know whether it's coming up to bump the 3, but if it did, he'd have a 2-10 combo. It's hard to judge this. You've got to have the pace in the pot to get there, but the cue ball could be heading some of that direction. But Eddie's trying to get cover. And he's, well, Barkers might jack up and put a bit of a little massey on this. Or is he calling it? What's he doing? He is. This is just a little sort. No, he hasn't got it. So again, Eddie's coming to the table. He's ball in hand. And straight away, he can play this combo. And he'll be relieved if this goes in. And there's no way he should ever be missing this. He's right down the line. Well, that's a bonus. And now Eddie, he's still not changing. He's going narrower now. I think he needs a big change up. He needs to do something stupid here in the break. You know, anything that'll work. But that worked. But is he going to have a shot? And the answer is, well, he's going to have to try and jump for the 1. In fact, he's not risking it. Calling the push. Now this again has to be thought out here. Well, I'm not convinced that was the best push out in the world, because there's a nice angle in this 1 ball to run it 3 rails. He might have to put a bit more on the cue ball as well, just to maybe help this around these 3 rails and try and get on the narrow side of that too. Well, he's running right on top of it, but the little bump will give him a shot, but entirely the wrong angle to get to the 4. Is that going to get there? No, it isn't. So once again, Eddie breathes in this rack. And again, it's not going to be simple for Eddie. The 9 ball is awkward where it's sitting, guarded by the 10. Must have something on this 8 ball to get onto that 9. And the 9 doesn't go up table. It obviously goes into that side, it goes into that corner, it goes into the other side pocket, although it's narrower. How's he going to get there? Well, I think he can only go forward and play it narrow. I think he'd be really brave to try anything else. He's going to have to play it narrow into the side, and he's going to have to bump this in because he wants to go through with the cue ball. He's got to let it run into the side and just go through with the cue ball for the 10 into this corner where we're sitting. That's a shot. He's got to just get the top in the cue ball to go through and play this in the jaw. And that's fine. Although again, he's just gone a wee bit more, but you'd always expect him to get this. But watch the cue ball. Yeah, he's just digging in to make sure he wasn't running into any pocket. So, he's got back to within 2. Well, there's nothing like winning ugly. If you can come out of a match where you feel most of it's went crap and you haven't played great, you probably feel all the better for it at the end of the day. That is still on the cards. And Barker's break is dry. Eddie going to have to cheat the pocket here, and he's going to have to just kill the cue ball while he cheats this pocket because he wants to leave some sort of shot on the 3. I mean, this will go as long as he hits it with the right pace and he comes back with the cue ball. He can cheat the pocket, and that has now left him a thin one in the 3, which he should be getting, and he's going to be really unlucky if he can't see the 4. So now, this is the most important rack so far for Eddie. To try and get back to within 1, especially with all the balls there. Not a problem left in the table. Now again, quick look to see what this is like. Well, just straight forward with the right pace to get back into the middle of the table, left side as we look. Take that 6 into the side pocket. He's off the rail a bit. And he doesn't want to hit this plane into the side pocket because again the cue ball's not taking a great crack off this 6. Is he trying to just dink it in? If he dinks it in, he's got to watch where this cue ball's running to. It's all about the pace. Now, he's hitting this plain ball right now with top. At least that's how he's lining up to it. And this needs to keep going. It needs to keep going. Oh, this is another one. Well, how's your nerve, Eddie? Because this is the tester for it. Got to be on the 8 ball if he doesn't scratch. How's this angle like? Well, I think he can sneak behind the 10 here. I think he can. But it's a controlled shot. He's going forward. I don't like this idea. Oh, now. Yeah, he's sneaked behind the 10 and that'll do. I think he's trying to catch me out here. So, again, a nice pace on the cut and he's coming to here for the 10 ball. He doesn't need to batter this in to go 2 rails. I mean, that's the wider side, but he doesn't need to. He'll have a reasonable cut in the 10 from this side, as long as he gets the pace right, and that will do nicely. That's fine. And he's going to have the break. And he's back to within 1. But he's not changing the break. Well, he got a ball to break the last time anyway. One ball into the side. 2 balls trying to duck away, but it gets a bump on the 7. And now the 2's on, and he can go forward. He might want to go forward with, I don't know whether with a little tad of left to just straighten the cue ball back up past the 4 and 5. Is that not the line that he could go? Or he's maybe got too much angle for that? Is he trying to go between the 5 and 10? He might be trying to go between the 5 and 10. That looks like a decent enough window. No, he's come the other way, but he's just not hitting him. He's not hitting him. I mean, look at the margin of error he had to get on that 3 ball. A huge margin of error. That cue ball could have run another 2 feet, and he still would have had a shot in the 3. So he's called the bank. But I mean, that shot he's just played there, anywhere like there, a further 2.5 feet up the table, the 3 ball was wide open. To leave it there is really bad. And he needs to watch the shot clock here because he's on his last extension. And that's not going to get there. Now he needs to get cover. And it might have been a 2-in-1 shot there, because the worst thing is if he got it, he was hooked himself. But he'll take it. He'll take anything, as long as it works in your favour. Well, the 3 will cut. The cue ball, where it goes, nobody knows. Well, it's 3 balls gone in. Oh, he's nailed to the 4. Welcome to Tam. What is he thinking here? Do you think he can feather behind the 10? Well, this time he hasn't got there. The 4 will cut on the side. I don't know whether he can get to the 40 cut on the side though. Certainly not that side. Looking like it looks too tight. If Barkers is brave enough, he could lock the cue ball onto the 6. He's not entertaining it at all. I would be playing that shot, because to me that's a fairly straightforward little drop through, as long as you're comfortable with your mouse control. He's gone for the cut into the side. He's convinced himself he could get it, and he may well have escaped. Maybe not, because that 4 will cut as well. But again, the cue ball just running all around the houses. He might want to just cut this to the rail and come back and duck for cover here, because that's another option he has. But he has got it now. He needs a bit of luck. And I think that is it right there. He's the little bump in the 10. And anywhere down in this bottom half of the table here, he's got a straightforward enough shot in the 6. And that'll do. Well, he's also got to pay attention to the 8 ball. I mean, the 8 ball will go, but it doesn't go nicely from somewhere like here. You want to try and get good on it, and that's going to be the big test for Eddie, is to find the shot to get nice on this 8 ball. I can't believe he'd want to try and come down the short side of the 8. Let's have a look at what he's got. Well, he can actually come down the short side of the 8 if he's brave enough to take the 7 up the top there. The cue ball's heading in that direction. That would be the shot to get on the short side of the 8 ball. It's going over that direction every day to get onto the 8. He looks as if he's going into the side. Oh dear. Well, that's what happens when you can't make your mind up. I think his head was telling him, take the 7 up the table, but he was listening to some other voice in his head to try and get nice on the 8, and he did get nice on the 8. But when you cannot pot the 7 into the side, all your hard work to get back to within 1 might go out the window. But this 7 ball hasn't finished nice. Well, that was a good shot. Nice, firm, solid shot into the side pocket at a tight angle. Well, that used a fair chunk of the 9. But it's going to be a 2-rack gap again. And also, the bigger punishment is this is on Eddie's break. So back to Barkers. And, well, we've been on for, what, an hour and a quarter, just over it. And we're past the halfway mark. So Barkers, 2 racks in the lead. And a break to try and get to 3. Now, where's the 3 ball going? Well, this is also dry. It's dry and it is not a nice table. I mean, he's no problem with a 1 and 2. That's a gimme. But if he's going to do anything, he's going to have to come back on this 2 ball to leave an angle to pot it and run into the 3 and 6. Let's see what he's got. Well, he's got an angle and he's got to go for the bump and hope he gets a roll of the ball. Well, he wasn't prepared to take that on, because I mean, that 3 ball's a combo into this pocket, but obviously the 3 ball's on, so you know you're playing anything like that. So he's now ducking for cover here, and it needs a bit of spin to miss the 8 ball, and he's hit the 8 ball. And this is just going to be a little feather along the rail. Use the 6. As light as you dare with this shot. Just take a coat of paint off the edge of that left side of the 3. And nothing more. And brush the cue ball with a feather to get it to the 3 ball to play this shot. That's the sort of light touch you need. Well, that's the equivalent of a touch like a sledgehammer. That needed to be a lot more delicate. but it's left not an awful lot of options on for Barkers. What did I miss there, Cobra? Well, there's the option. When there's nothing on, get your opponent nailed up. What did I miss, Cobra? 7 went in. Did it go in the break? I can't remember what happened 45 seconds ago. Well, we've got 17 in YouTube. YouTube seems to be getting more viewers than Twitch. It used to be always the other way around. Strange things are going on. No, it wasn't a dry break. The 7 did go in. How many have we got in Twitch? Have we got about 5 or 6 in Twitch? So, that tight safety by Barkers. 11. That tight safety gives him his reward. But I'll tell you, it ain't going to be a run out. It'll take something here to get a run out. He's looking for the combo, and he hasn't really got there, but still got a fair chance it could go. Yeah, then he has to start rushing. You're right enough here, Pig. And the snooker brain of Barkers kicks in whenever he sees that opportunity. To turn the screw on Fast Eddie. Well, that's the thing about Fast Eddie. He's not living up to his name. It's slow Eddie when it comes to the shot clock. He's letting it eat up time before he's made his mind up. I'm not saying that he should start blasting every ball and not take his time, but as you say, he gets to a point where he's maybe not quite made up his mind, and then before he knows it, he's run out of time to play the shot and has to rush it. Twitch keeps requesting for a password. That's why I'm on YouTube. Well, the reason it keeps requesting for a password is because you've got a Twitch account, I presume, and you've forgotten what it is. So what you should do then is just tell it you want to change your password, and it'll ask for your email, and you can then log back in. Now, them that are on YouTube should do a quick tab out and go to the community page, the community tab, and look at the votes. And if you haven't voted, even if you're watching on Twitch, you should make an effort and get to my YouTube channel and get your vote in for the next Virtual World Championship, because it's a close run thing at the moment between Cowboy and 9ball, I think. Although 9ball's still in the lead. And talking about lead, Barkers is going to stretch it to 3. Well, it's fair to say, Cobra, that the ones that couldn't deal with the shot clock are out the tournament now. Larry made sure he didn't hang around long enough. He bailed out quite early. Because it was the two of you that were complaining of the shot clock before the tournament started. Oh, you remembered it. Remembered your password. Well, there's another crisis on here for Eddie. He got back to within 1. And now it's 3 again. And we are very quickly running out of racks. Well, you think about it, Cobra. Right? Look at the US Open that's just finished last week. Right? For the whole chunk of that tournament, the early knockout, the early rounds where it was where you get sent to the one loss side, they were all without a shot clock. And then suddenly they bring. I mean, how's that for running a tournament? They don't have a shot clock for the first part of the tournament, and then it goes to the TV stages with Sky, and then suddenly there's a shot clock. Well, I haven't. Well, I'm not sure whether. I presume Eddie was trying to use the 5 ball. And he hasn't got there because this cuts. See, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, this is Steve's toy, and he goes predominantly, I think, with what he likes. So you guys that are playing in these big tournaments need to stand your ground, and that's going to scratch as well. Well, what is the shot clock in this tournament anyway? It's 2:25 extensions, and it must be a 30-second shot clock. So that's you asking for a minute there, Cobra. 45 and 15 is a minute. So if it's 30 and 2:25s, that's still a minute. So it's still the same length of time. So is it 2:15 extensions? Ah, I thought it was 25. Well, I've been telling Steve. In fact, that's something that came to mind the other night there. I think I mentioned it when I was looking at that match between Albinario and Spectre Dawn in the 2021 World Championship. The one loss side was fairly short. It was only a race to 13. Oh, Eddie's been handed a gift here. But again, the 6 ball is just hampered by the 10. And this has got a doubt in his mind straight away. And he's going to play past the 10. And he doesn't want to go straight. Well, he's got a slight angle. So he's got to get out into the table past the 8 ball. I think that's the main thing he has to do here. I don't think he wants to stay inside the 8 ball here. I mean, it still works, but I don't know why he wants to entertain anywhere near that 8 ball. And that'll do. And what are we talking about now? I'm missing. Oh dear. Well, who is it that said Eddie's not playing his cue ball well there? Hairpig, you're right enough. Now, there's the evidence there, but look at how he's landed here. Well, Eddie's needing more than one bite at the cherry to get this job done, and the 3 fouls has handed it to him on a plate. He's back within 2, but Barker's breaking again. The break is dry, and the 1 ball goes. He's just got to dink this in dead weight and run over to here for the cut in the 2. But the cut in the 2, there's not much room past that 8 ball. I don't like the look of that. I mean, it will go. But if you're playing it from up here, it's maybe not quite as simple. You've got to get that right to the rail for it to squeeze in off the 8. Now, where's the 3 ball? Well, I don't think he has to worry a great deal about the 3 and 4. But this is make or break. This shot here, hampered over the 5. He's got to put this flush to the rail if this is going to squeeze in past that 8. No, he's decided to run for cover. Is he a WPBSA referee, or is he just at like amateur level? This guy Barkers. Does anybody know? Well, Eddie's not got the cover because the 2 ball ran all around the table. But this is some shot to drop this into the side. This is very tight, and he's looking for the lock-up. He's trying to drop onto the 9. Well, he's got the cover. That will do. Yeah, but do you know what level he's refereeing at, Semi? I mean, put it this way: if he was in the WPBSA, would he not be doing the Northern Ireland Open this week? Well, the thin cut is on for Barkers. There's a chance he'll bump into stuff up the top right, but he should still be able to see the 3. Now, what's that done? I mean, he can pot the 3 and he can pot the 4, and it's absolutely dead. 6-7 combo. So, I mean, if his name, I mean, we don't know his proper name, do we? Because I've never heard of a professional snooker player called Barkers. Right. Talking of, well, that he doesn't have to do any with the cue ball. He just has to cut this because it's absolutely plumb. The 6-7. So Barkers should be at double figures here. Just nicely out into the table. He wants to come far enough out into the table just so it's a natural path back to the 10. And he can stun this in and come back across. A wee bit of right on the cue ball just to bump it into a nice line. And it's going to be 3 racks in front again for Barkers and 3 racks away from surviving another round. And Eddie breaking and hoping for something good to happen. And dry again. No shot though for Barkers. Well, that'll be him then. That's odds on. It's got to be him. I've never heard of him. He must. I mean, is that listed? Is that listed in on a WPBSA thing or anything like that? You know, well, not WPBSA. That's not what they're called now. World Snooker. Is that on a World Snooker site? Where did you get that, Cobra? Well, Eddie's teed it up in a plate as far as the 1 ball goes. The 3 ball, of course, hide behind the 9. English professional snooker and billiard site. Well, that sounds to me like he's a what you would term as a lower ranked referee. You know, you won't see him doing refereeing in any of these world snooker events. That's what it sounds like to me. Stubb arrives in the room and Eddie says, and ignore. Well, Barkers has certainly got a sight in the 3. I think this is tricky to try and get the 3 ball out of there and leave it safe. He couldn't do anything with it. And he'll be in trouble in a second, I think. This is a little touchy shot here, this 3 ball. He's played it well. Well, I'm going to have a break from Friday night 9 ball tomorrow, and this is a 3-9 combo that Eddie has, fairly straightforward as far as potting the 9's concerned. I'm going to leave Friday night 9 ball tomorrow and I'm going to do the what do you call it, Saturday Night 9-Ball League. 3 balls got away though. Oh dear, it's past my bedtime. I'm back to work tomorrow. Oh, that's poor. That is really, really poor, Eddie. The touch is just not there. And that is a big sellout. Well, it's looking very much right now that Eddie's dropped way down performance-wise from where he has to be to continue in this tournament. And regardless of that, the same thing will be asked of Barkers as well if he goes through. But Barkers is very much a controlled player, but trying to adapt to this game, I think. Welcome to Interchange X. Well, 7 ball into the same pocket would be the order of the day here. Well, he's managed to dink it in and hold it. Quite comfortable. He's trusting his control and pace to be able to play that side. He could have easily just let that run across, but he's played it right on the nail. But Eddie, those errors have mounted up to far too many. And welcome to Hogg. All these latecomers arriving, well, they're arriving at the right time. But it's now going to be 4. And this match suddenly has to take an almighty turn for Eddie to get out of this. Barker's break. I don't think the break's been that impressive tonight from either of these players. Certainly, Barker's has put in a fair few dry breaks. That's not going to make great reading at the end of the match. Well, I think we all know that the other 2 guys left in this tournament on that winner's side would both be going for this. Oh, he was on in the last Virtual World Snooker Championships and won it. That shows how much you pay attention, Hogg. But I hadn't seen him before that tournament. He suddenly came out the woodwork. Well, Eddie refused the cut, looking for the cover, gets it. Well, another big test, a huge test here for Eddie, the ball in hand. And the 4 ball is a problem. I mean, the 1 ball and the 2 ball aren't the issue. How he finishes on that 3 is what he should be concerned about. Because you either want to be there or there on the 3. That way you're going through for the 4 into the side. So let's see what line he picks here. And he's going inside. And the line is there. He might bump the 8, but if he bumps the 8, it shouldn't do him any harm. But that'll get him on the 4 into the side. And again, it's just a gentle enough pace to go through. He's going behind the 8. And he's still in reasonable shape, but I think he's got to go forward now and let the cue ball just run through the gap. So he's taking the 5 into the side. And if he goes through far enough for the 5 into the side, he can come back down for the 6 into the other side. So again, you have to be planning that in your mind and know where you're going. Well, he's bumped past the 10. The angle in the 5 is fine. And the line he should be taking should bring him down here far enough. He's not hit it. I mean, look at the margin of error he's got. Even if he finished there, he's still got a shot at 6. You've got to get down to the 9. Someone like that, he's way short and having to run the cue ball again. And Eddie's under hitting a whole pile of stuff tonight. He's fallen way short of the mark. He should never have been there. But the pressure's on, and that's how it can affect you. And that's what happens, and it's worse than that. It's a missed call, and he's going to be put back in, and he's going to have to try and jump long if Barkers puts him in, which I think he will. Can't believe Barkers is going to have any sniff of this. He's leaving it up to Eddie. Well, if you're ever going to dig out a jump shot, now's the time to do it, Eddie. It needs to be a shallower angle to get over the edge of this 10. Is he going to try it? Yes, he is. And you would think it has to go in. Yeah. This time it doesn't work out. And to combine it and make it even more worse, he scratches. And Barkers will be on the hill. Well, I say he'll be in the hill. That 8 ball is very tight past the 9. From there, it's going in every day because you can easily cheat the pocket again. I think you just dink this completely dead weight. Just a little dink, and he'll still have a shot in the 9. So Eddie, fast Eddie, is going to be breaking to save the match with Barkers on the hill. And Eddie's had pretty much a stinker tonight. The break not working, shot execution failures, wrong shot choices, and touch has gone out the window. on a lot of his shots. So he hasn't ticked many boxes tonight, Eddie. And that's why he's going to be a casualty. And Eddie's break. This 3-ball needs to hit something, and it ain't. It's dry, and the 1 is on. The 2 is there. It's going to be, well, he could billiard off the 3 and cut the 5 onto the 9. But it's a bit of a clump to be having a pop at this and hoping the 9 goes in. So that would be the shot, to try and just billiard the 5 off the 3, or clip the 3 and billiard the 5, I should say. Let's see where he finishes, and that'll do. Well, I think it'll do. He might have gone too far. Let's see. Yep, he went too far. Anywhere up there, he would have been fine. He would have been able to catch that 3 and just chip the 5. He ended up going too far. So a lifeline for Eddie to at least survive one more rack and go back to Barkers for the next rack for the break. Where's this going? Where's this going? Oh. Well, the 9 obviously is the call ball. Just again a little dink. No weight in it at all. Well, Bill and Spectre Dawn have arranged their match for any latecomers, and it's arranged, I think, for next Tuesday night at 8 PM. So there's a big interlude now for Stubb and Albinario, if they want it. We'll check the dates and see what the deadlines are. What's today's date? This is the 20th, isn't it? Well, that's 6 balls now awkward. I think let's look how much of this 4 ball he needs. Yep, he's having to let the cue ball run. If he's trying to get to here, the 8 ball can come into play. And he's played that pretty well. Okay, he's left it a bit of a cut. That's the other problem. Because once again, the cue ball's got to move. Well, you can always pull a sickie, Cobra. Or you can spend most of the night in the toilet and have the phone in there with you. Well, the bump in the 7 ball worked out nice. Oh, he's gone to that funny place again, hasn't he? He's gone to that funny spot. It's neither here nor there. Right now it doesn't look as if he's cutting this 8 ball enough. That's a bit better. And that was well done. So at least he's making Barker's break for the match. You're going back after 4 weeks, Nisik. Goodness me. Well, the 8 ball has gone in on Barker's break. And he's really... Well, has he got a shot? Quick look around. Yes, he can get the 1. The 2 goes past the 6. 3 ball ain't going anywhere. So that's Fast Eddie's lifeline at the moment. That's not getting potted anywhere. Although it could get potted in that corner, but of course the problem there is it's guarded by the 4. So there might be a bit of a lock-up attempted here by Barkers. How's he angling this to? Well, if he gives it a good thud and lets the cue ball run loose, he might be hoping to get lucky. He could. Well, it's just going to be again the feather edge. Maybe with a bit of spin to try and use the 9, but it's sneaked out. But this is a dodgy shot here. You catch any more of that 3 ball than you really want to. You're bringing it into play. It's going to bump the 9, I think, if he hits it too thick. It needs to run. It needs to keep going. And that's a good shot. And Barkers, with loads of right English in the cue ball, looking to try and, I think, spin into the back of this 3. Well, he's not. He's looking to kick it. I thought he would have tried, because the 9 ball would have kept it there if he'd kicked it. He's going the other way and calling the 3 in the corner. And I think that might have been legal. Was it? Yeah, it was. And the end result is not too bad. Oh, this is dicing with death here, Eddie. Apart from the fact the cue ball's running all over the place. Now, how's his luck? He's bumped into the 10. And now, well, I don't think there's an awful lot of great value in banking this 4. I mean, he could, it's a very touchy shot to catch it in the left edge. It's unlikely he'll get cover. Well, he's playing the bank. But this 5-6, there's nothing set there. And that's going in all the time. That was perfectly played. Now, what does he do? Let's have a look. He could try the billiard. Big stun on the 5, and he's not got any shot clock left. He's on his final extension here. He needs to get his act together. Has he called the bank the other way? Yeah, he's called the 5. I'm looking to see whether that billiard was on. And this needs to go past the side pocket. It needs to keep going. Well, the 7, let's have a look at that. It goes into the side, so this could be the match winner. If Barkers can get the cut up the rail. Is he taking into the side? Oh, it caught the knuckle and it still went in. Well, straight draw. Get into any sort of line in the 7. And he's going to be home and dry. Well, he can do what he wants here. I think he can roll through. He can come back. He can do whatever he chooses. And just a roll through for the 10 into the other side if he wants. That'd be simple enough. So, it's well done to Barkers. He was consistent enough to take his opportunities. Eddie doesn't want to be reminded about this match because he felt way below the levels he had to be at. His break never worked in the early part of the match, which didn't help, but too many errors, Eddie, was the final undoing. So Barkers goes through by 13 racks to 8, and I don't think anybody predicted that. That is one thing. Let's have a look at the bracket, and we'll get that confirmed. We see that Barkers is now through on the bottom half of the draw, and he's now waiting on the winner of the match between Mr. Bill and Spectre Dawn, and clearly Barkers has the remaining players the outside chance, you would think, of progressing further in this tournament. He's not going to be the favourite. He's a consistent enough player. He pots the ball well. He controls the cue ball reasonably well. And we might not have seen the best of him yet. That's the thing. That's where we're all still in doubt. So he may well still play his best, and we might not have seen that. So we always need to give him that sort of leeway. So on the bracket, on the main page, we see there's one match that's left on that one-loss side, the tie between Bill and Spectre Dawn. It's going to be next Tuesday night. It will be at 8 p.m. British Summer Time, and that'll be 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central Mountain Time, and noon Pacific. And I should be there for that one. We'll go. I don't think this is going to make pretty reading. We'll have a look at the stats for this match. Now, why? I'll put it in that way. Fast, Eddie. And there I can't find it again. What the hell am I doing wrong? Why can I never find his bloody name? I think, was it the underscore that does it? I think that's what it is. Let's see if that'll find him. There we are. It is fast underscore Eddie. That's why I can never find him. And then Barkers 155. Right. This is not going to make good reading. Barkers 11 breaks. He was actually worse than Eddie. So he was only 0.3 of a ball in the break. Eddie was 0.4. Runouts from the break, none. Break fouls, 1. Common stats. Well, there's the difference there. Barker's shot percentage 72%. Eddie only 65. And now that's, have these two guys played each other twice? Was it Barkers that put Eddie to the one-loss side? You know, they're showing 21 games. No, wait a minute. What was the final score? It was 13-8, wasn't it? Aye, right. I'm losing the place here. What else was it we wanted to look at? Rack's high run, 1 obviously. Moneyball shot, 100% for both players. So, not pretty reading. I've got a new message from someone. I don't know who that was. We'll find out in a minute. Well, Stubbs at it in the lobby. So, that's where we stand. Oh, that's what I meant to do. I meant to go to, what did I meant to check? I meant to check what the dates were, didn't I? That's what I was going to do. Hang on. So if we look at the hot seat match with Albinario and Stubb, the deadline date for that is October the 30th, and that's 10 days away. Obviously, the one lost side won't have quite as long as that. Let's have a look. We know that Bill and Spectre Dawn have arranged theirs for next Tuesday. The deadline date for that is the 25th. That may well be the deadline date, is it? The 25th could well be. But anyway, we're going to be going from August the 31st to probably September, October, a full 2 months and more to get this tournament played. I mean, the deadline date for the one loss side final, or the semi-final if you want to call it, is like November the 4th. So it's a 2-month-old tournament. Right. Well, that is it, guys. Well done to Barkers. He's going to need to step up the gameplay, but as I said, we might not have seen him playing great yet, and that might be still to come. He's got to hope it does, because everything from here on in now is a much bigger test than it was today. He met Eddie on not a great day for Eddie, because he was not at the races. So better luck next time, Eddie, but he's had a good run and some good wins in the tournament also. So that'll it should give him confidence for anything he chooses to do in the future. So that is it, guys. Bid you good night. Thanks for all joining us, and I'll see you on Saturday. And remember, Friday night 9 ball. I'm taking a break tomorrow. I'll be back for the Saturday night 9 ball league. Till then, take care, and we'll bid you good night, if I can remember how these buttons work.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.